provide estimates for different types of environmental resources. Now, I give you again some examples from the literature. The first one is a study about the preservation of wilderness in Iceland. But there are also many studies in different parts of the world. It just happened that this is just time prepared during Europe. Now, the willingness to accept was 780,000 kronas approximately for the scheme, and the willingness to pay the same scheme was only a fraction, $21,000. I'll come back to these discrepancies in a minute about this gap. Another study about the preservation of natural habitat in France. Now, the willingness to accept compensation per hectare was 584 French francs. It's an old study, so there were no euros back then in 2002. And the willingness to pay, again, per hectare was about a fourth, close to 144. So you can see that the way that these studies carry out the surveys, whether they ask for the willingness to pay or for the willingness to accept compensation, also influences the value that we attach to natural resources. So maybe this is a paradox, right? Why are we willing to pay less to gain a certain amount of food? In that case, this amount of food is the extra acre of land that we want to use as natural habitat, park that you can basically use to walk around with your family and your pets, compared to how much we are willing to accept as compensation to lose that same food, the same amount of acres, right? We give it away to build houses and flats. Any guesses why there are these big differences in the value that we attach to natural resources when we look at the willingness to pay versus the willingness to accept? There are a couple of reasons, because of course this debate has been going on for a while in the economics literature. Somebody who has worked a lot on this is actually somebody who, it often happens in economics that you don't have to be an economist to win the Nobel Prize. I don't know if you did. So one of the Nobel Prize laureates was Daniel Kahneman. Heard of him? So Daniel Kahneman was basically a psychologist who won the prize in economics. Who else? So what Daniel Kahneman found out through experiments is that the pleasure or the utility, as an economist would say, the $1 gain, or 1 acre of land gain, let's say that's of natural habitat, it's much smaller compared to the displeasure or the disutility that we get the same $1 loss. And again, change this $1 to an acre of land, and of course the same argument will also apply. So what Kahneman says is that if you're working, let's say, and your employer gives you a pay rise by, let's say, $100, this will give you less pleasure compared to the displeasure, right? So the discomfort or the satisfaction that will give you if the employer gives you a pay cut by the same amount. So the same thing happens also in the case of natural resources. That's why when people think about the compensation to losing something, they tend to actually give a much higher estimate compared to the value of gaining the same amount of environmental service. Of course, there are many other reasons. I'm not going to go into too much detail. Another reason is that when people think about the willingness to pay, right, for environmental assets, for this additional acre of land next to your house, right, that will become a park. This is very much influenced by your income, right? What you will declare as a relevant amount of money will be a proportionate share of your income. Maybe you will eager to pay 2%, 3%, 5%, 10% of your income. The maximum that you can pay is 100% of your income, unless you borrow money, right? But in terms of the willingness to accept compensation, you can, let's say, suggest a value that is many times your income, right? right? There are no constraints. There's no upper bound. You can say I want to accept compensation at 3 times higher than the level of my income. This is also another reason that we have this discrepancy. So I can continue talking, right? I mean, I can be, maybe I spend another 15 minutes and then I leave the last 15 minutes for discussion. So how do we measure these non-market benefits? One method is we call it contingent valuation study. This is basically willingness to pay, willingness to accept methods that we just talked about. Two other methods is the so-called travel cost methods, and I'll tell you a little bit how this works in a minute. And the third method is what is called the hedonic pricing method. Does anyone know what hedonism means? So, well, it's a Greek word, so it's a bit easier for me. All these strange words come from Greek. So, hedonism is basically pleasure. It's about the value that we get from experiencing pleasure. So, as I said, the contingent valuation studies are basically willingness to pay or willingness to accept studies. So, basically, you make a survey. You knock at people's doors, you stop pedestrians in the middle of the street, and you ask them questions to decide how much would you be willing to spend in terms of euros or Indonesian rupees, more per month on petrol, over above your current expenditure, so that this would cover the cleanup costs of underground water contamination at petrol stations, right? Obviously, you ask different kinds of questions. It can be about reserving total rates. Sometimes people ask tourists who visit certain areas how much they would be willing to pay, for example, for cleanup costs for the beach, and so on. And then based on these responses, you create a typical demand function, right? So you'll realize that people who give a very high estimate, there will be fewer. As you move to the right, people who give a smaller estimate, you get many more responses as it happens with the demand function of any group. You will not have a very large amount of people who are eager to pay it all. Now, of course, the literature itself that uses these willingness to pay estimates, or willingness to accept estimates, I think of the title of the willingness to pay. Somebody comes and knocks at your door, or somebody stops you in the middle of the campus and asks about your willingness to pay to, I don't know, preserve some coral reef sanitary outside the hotel. Can these estimates be biased? So, here I have some reasons why these estimates can be biased. But do you think when somebody stops in the middle of the street and asks you how much would you be willing to pay for the preservation of some bird species in Indonesia? Right? Do you think that some people might not be very truthful or might not think too much about what they want to say? Right? Do you think the values that the estimates that people report, are they 100% reliable? Didn't see any problems? So I'll give you some ideas, right? Again, the one is the hypothetical bias. I mean, it's hypothetical bias because it's a hypothesis. You're not going to actually pay this money. Right? You can say that you would be willing to pay, I don't know, something like, still get confused converting euros to rubles, so all the zeros. Let's say 100 euros, right, per month to preserve some kind of special species that is close to extinction. You don't sign the contract, right? It's a survey. You can say 100 euros. So who knows? Maybe in reality you would only be eager to spend only €1 or 2 or even nothing. There's also free riding bias, right? Some people might think that if you declare a high value, that somehow actually this might come back to you, and the government might try to tax you that you actually paid it. So they prefer actually to give a small estimate, thinking that actually somebody else will need to pay. Let this not be. So I'll give a small estimate just to protect myself from the small chance that I might be the one who has to pay for this. the so-called strategic values, that works in the opposite direction. So some people might say, well, I would overinflate my response, my estimate, because by overinflating this estimate, the study basically will come up with a very large aggregate value, and this will put pressure on the government, right, to take action. Right? So there is a strategy there. You think strategically. You overinflate, even if I think that this coral reef or this bird species is only worth to me like 50 euros per month, as I say, it's worth 400 euros, right? Then this study will come up with a large aggregate value. This will make it more likely that the government or the policymakers will do something to protect the species or the coral reefs. There's also an embedding bias. What this means is that the response that you give also depends on what happens during that particular day. And I don't mean necessarily whether you have a bad day or a good day, but imagine that I knock at your door. Let's say, how much are you willing to pay to preserve these coral reefs off the coast in Java, right? And you might say 100 euros. Now, if on a separate day, there will be two people knocking at your door, and the first person asks, how much would you be willing to pay to preserve this bird species? You say 50 euros. And then the second person knocks at the door half an hour later and says, how much would you be willing to pay to preserve the same coral reef species? Then perhaps you're not going to say 100 euros, but a smaller value, right? Because then you realize that there are quite a lot of things that need to be preserved, and you have a limited budget. So by having, let's say, multiple people knocking off your door, you realize that you have to split any kind of budget that altruistically you would devote to the preservation of environmental assets in different categories. So this is about the contingent valuation or willingness to pay estimates. These are often called stated preference methods. Let me write them down. All right, I said I'll write it down on the other side, right? So the willingness to pay estimates, it's a kind of what we call the stated preference method. The stated preference method because, of course, we state our preference. We can basically just comment on whatever comes to our mind. There are also the so-called revealed preference method. Then we are not asked to state our preferences, but basically the monetary value of the attached natural resources comes by actual observation of some human behavior. Now the travel cost method is one of these kind of revealed preference methods. So the way that it goes is basically we try to attach the value, to estimate the value of particular attached natural resources by looking at the travel behavior and the cost that this implies. So just to make this simple, of course, reality is always different, right? It's not so simple. Again, I right now on the other, that also makes my life easier because I don't need to clean the whiteboard. So imagine you have some kind of natural parks, and I know that in Indonesia you have plenty of natural parks. Now, think of the people who are located very close to the natural park. So imagine here's the natural park, and this is a radius here of, let's say, 5 kilometers. So the people who live at the distance of 5 kilometers, these people might actually, maybe 5 kilometers would be too much. Let's say 1 kilometer. You might have something like 100 individuals who want to visit this natural park, and basically they have to pay zero money. There's no entrance fee. It's only about the travel cost, how much money they need to pay to travel to access to the natural park. Now, imagine that, of course, there is a larger radius around this natural park. The distance now not of 1 kilometer, but between, let's say, 1 kilometer and 5 kilometers. Now, these people might need to pay not $0, but $5. Right? Because they need to catch the bus or the train to go to this natural park, or drive a car. And now as a result of this, you might have only 30 people who live in this radius that actually visit the park. Again, there might be another radius between 5 and 10 kilometers, and these people here might need to spend $10 to access the park. And then you can see that the further you go out, the number of people who visited the park starts declining. Here you might have only, let's say, 10 individuals. And so this creates a kind of demand function. You don't have, of course, a price that people actually pay to enter the park. I mean, in some places around the world, there are actually fees to enter national parks. And I think in Indonesia it's for free, probably, right? Do you need to pay any kind of fees to access national parks? Some of them? So obviously, if there's a fee, it's much easier to see whether there's a demand function. But if there's free entrance, right, by using this kind of travel cost method, you can basically proxy the value that people attach as a fee to enter the park to the money that you have to pay to travel. Again, it's a much more complicated story because a lot of course, these radius also overlap. Because somewhere here you might have another natural park, right? So obviously the radius of the second natural park to some extent will also overlap with the other ones. So people have a choice. That's why I'm saying that to estimate this, of course, you also need to take into account that there are also overlapping radiuses of different natural habitats that provide similar ecosystem services. So this is the travel cost method. And the third method, why I said second, that should be the third one. The third one is the so-called hedonic pricing method. So this is another method that basically we use to estimate the benefits associated often with recreational activities. And we do this by looking at the prices of, we call this associated goods. So we look at the prices of another good that is traded in markets. And by looking at these associated goods, we can basically extract the price for the natural resource. And most studies often look at the prices of houses, right? Either rental prices or purchase prices. Now, again, it's a little bit of an exaggeration, but imagine that you have data on the sale price of two houses. The two prices are identical in everything else apart from their location. Right? Same year of construction, same surface, right, in terms of square meters, same division inside in terms of rooms, everything the same quality of construction in terms of materials. The only difference is that the first house is in the middle of the motorway, and this is a real picture somewhere in China. I don't know, this obviously I did this myself. So this is the second house, like the exact same house is located somewhere close to a nice lake, with nice green scenery. And if these houses are sold in the market during the same year, and the first house is sold, let's say, the one that's in the middle of the motorway, at the value of $100, and the second house at the value of $120, this $20 difference, this $20 premium of the second house, you can think of that as the value that we attach to the proximity to the to this green scenery, right, to the lake and the forest. Now, of course, you hardly ever have the case of two houses being exactly identical, but for those of us who do econometric analysis, this is very easy to control for, right? Because when you look at the house prices, either rental prices, again, or sale prices, but you can control because you have data on the surface, the division of rooms, right, whether the house has a garden or not, whether it's flat, the year of construction, and so on, as well as, of course, all these environmental parameters, right? How close is the house to the forest or to the coastline, and so on. So again, there are many different studies that use this kind of hedonic pricing method. Some of them also look at the effects of contamination, for example, and how this has affected the house pricing. So this is a study that looked at some soil contamination in Massachusetts. So it aggregated the total cost for all the declining house prices. The result of this, this is $36 million. There are plenty of studies. I mean, if you go to Google Scholar and put planic pricing, you'll see that there are hundreds of studies that look at different types of environmental assets. Now I'll stop somewhere here. Also run out of breath. Normally I take a break around, I think for 1 hour I have like 5-10 minutes break and then I complete. I don't know how it is in Indonesia. Do you have 2 hours of lecture non-stop? Or do you have, then you have the gap in between? Non-stop. Okay. Your lecture will have a short road after that. Okay. Are these new things to you? Have you heard of these things before? Is there any course on environmental economics that is offered? Okay. Maybe the resource cares you might have heard about it as part of the development, but it has more of relates more to economic growth and it's covered often more of the traditional development economics courses. Any other questions about the lecture or about me? So, are you all master students? All of you?